After losing my job, I picked up deliveries to keep the lights on. My wife said she missed feeling wanted and started working out with a trainer. One day, I got assigned to drop off food at a gym downtown. I walked in and saw her laughing on a bench press with him, feeding him fries. "That's my husband," she said sarcastically when I approached. They both laughed. I left without a word. 2 days later, I used her tablet to schedule a fake couples session. He showed up alone. I sent the footage to his wife. My wife got evicted from his apartment. Now she's couch surfing, just like she said I'd be. I'm 42. Born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Worked for the same warehouse logistics company for nearly 15 years. It was hard work, loading, routing shipments, dealing with trucks in and out every hour. Long days, busted knees, but steady money. The kind of job that wears you down slow, but you hang on because it pays the bills. I met Denise through mutual friends at a cookout. She was pretty. Smart, too. We clicked fast. Got married about a year later. She worked part-time at a salon, mostly because she liked being around people. I worked full-time and some weekends. I didn't mind carrying the load. I figured that's what a husband does. Everything started cracking the year I lost my job. The company started cutting hours. Then whole shifts. Then people. I saw it coming, but I hoped I'd be safe. I had seniority. I trained half the new guys. But none of that mattered. One Monday, they called me into the office and handed me a folder. I had 2 weeks and barely enough severance to cover the mortgage for a month. I felt sick. I didn't want to go home and tell Denise. But I did. Her face didn't even twitch. She said, "We'll figure it out." That was it. I applied for everything: warehouses, delivery services, overnight stalker jobs. Nobody called. Rent was due. Power bill came in. Groceries started running low. I signed up for delivery apps. I used my old Honda Civic, which had 210,000 miles and a cracked bumper. I'd be out 10, 12 hours a day, driving food all over the city, just trying to scrape together $100 a day. Denise started staying out later. Said she was networking, working more hours, or taking some time to breathe. When she was home, she was on her phone, always smiling at something. Then she joined a gym. Said she wanted to feel alive again. I didn't argue. I thought maybe working out would help her mood. Maybe it'd make her feel better. She talked about her trainer a lot. Troy. Said he was motivating and didn't take excuses. I asked, "You going with a friend or just solo?" She said, "Just me." Why? No reason. I said. Weeks went by. She started acting different. More distant. Less patience. I'd come home and she'd barely look up. One night I said, "You okay?" She looked up from her phone and said, "I just miss feeling wanted." I sat there, holding a sack of cheap tacos I'd just picked up after a full day of deliveries. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just nodded. Then came the day I got a delivery to a gym. Downtown, fancy place, all glass and chrome. The kind of place rich people use to feel better than you. I walked in with a big order: 2 burgers, a protein smoothie, and fries. I followed the signs to the wait area, expecting to hand it off to a receptionist. That's when I saw her. Denise. On a bench press, laughing like a schoolgirl. Sitting sideways, real close to a tall, muscular guy with a tank top and too many tattoos. Feeding him fries. She put one in his mouth. He leaned in like it was a joke. She giggled. Then she spotted me. And instead of looking shocked or sorry, she said, loud enough for the room to hear, "That's my husband." They both laughed. I just stood there. Frozen. Then I dropped the bag on the floor and walked out. No words. Nothing. I didn't even look back. That night, she came home late. Said the gym ran long. I didn't say a word. I slept on the couch. 2 days later, she left her tablet unlocked. Probably thought I wouldn't even touch it. But I opened it. Looked through her gym app. Found Troy's full name, Troy Mulligan. I scheduled a couples fitness consultation, using her profile. Put it for Wednesday morning at 10. Just typed, "It's Denise and my husband, excited to train together." Then I searched his name online. Found his Facebook in 3 clicks. Married. Wife's name, Amanda Mulligan. 2 kids. Looked like they had a dog and a nice little 2-story home in Parma. Pictures from a family trip to Disney posted last week. I made a burner email. Wrote a message. Attached a screen recording I found from the gym lobby cam. Public link from their website. It showed Denise laughing with Troy, feeding him fries, then looking at me and making "That's my husband" comment. Subject line, "You deserve to know." I sent it. Wednesday, I drove to the gym and parked across the street. Denise wasn't there. Troy showed up solo, in gym gear. Had his bag, looked like he was ready to work out. Amanda pulled up 6 minutes later. She walked in fast. I stayed in the car, but even from across the street, I could see her face through the window. Red. Angry. He came out 5 minutes later, yelling something. She was right behind him, holding her phone up. Probably playing the video. He got in his truck and sped off. She stood there, crying, then got back in her SUV and left. That night, Denise came home quiet. She didn't say anything to me. She went straight to the bedroom, but she didn't sleep in there. Next morning, I heard her on the phone. I only caught a few words. "No," he said, "I can't stay. I don't know, maybe just a few nights." I didn't ask. I didn't care. When she finally told me, her voice cracked. "I need to pack some things." Troy's wife kicked him out. She said I can't stay with him either. I thought never mind. I said, "Guess that couple's workout didn't go so well." She didn't respond. Just zipped up her suitcase. Before she walked out the door, she said, "I never thought I'd be the one without a place." I said, "You told me I'd be the one couch surfing when I lost my job." She just stared at me, then left. Now she's crashing on friends' couches. One of the salon girls said she could stay a few nights. Another gave her 2 days tops. I know because I still have her tablet. She hasn't even asked for it back. Me? I'm still delivering food. But I'm sleeping just fine. A week passed after she left. The house felt quiet. Too quiet sometimes. I'd come home after a long shift, drop my delivery bag by the door, and just sit in the living room staring at nothing. It wasn't peace exactly. More like stillness after a storm. But even that didn't last. On the 8th day, I got a call from my landlord. He sounded pissed. "Hey, you didn't tell me your wife moved out." I blinked. I didn't think I needed to. She's on the lease. Legally, I need her signature to take her off, or proof she left. "What kind of proof?" She called. Said she wants to pull her name, maybe get her part of the deposit back early. That hit me like a punch to the gut. She burned my dignity in public, wrecked another woman's family, and now she wanted to cash out early? I said, "She's not getting a damn cent." He sighed. "I don't get in the middle. Just figure it out." I hung up. Later that night, she texted me. First time I heard from her since she walked out. "Denise, I need a favor. Can we meet? Just to talk." I stared at the screen for 10 minutes. Finally replied, "Me, where and when?" She picked a diner off Detroit Avenue. Said 9 p.m. It was nearly empty when I got there. She was already sitting in a booth, wearing a hoodie that wasn't hers and cheap leggings. She looked tired. Worn out. Not like herself. I sat across from her and didn't say a word. She started in with a soft voice. "I know I hurt you." I didn't answer. She kept going. "Troy lied to me. Told me he was getting a divorce. said his wife cheated. I didn't know he'd been married 11 years. I didn't know about the kids. You fed him fries and laughed at me in front of a gym full of people. She winced. I was trying to make him laugh. I didn't know you'd walk in. You knew what you were doing. She looked down. I'm not proud of it. I messed up. Then she slid a folder across the table. I want to take my name off the lease. But I need a place to stay. Just a week. Until I find something. I laughed. She flinched. You thought I'd be the one begging for space on a couch. I said. Now you're the one with a bag and nowhere to go. I don't want to fight, she whispered. I don't want money. I just need a roof for a few days. I stood up. Left the folder on the table. Figure it out, I said. You found Troy. Find someone else. And I walked out. Thought that would be the end. It wasn't. 3 days later, my delivery app pinged me. Ordered to a low-budget motel on Lorraine Avenue. I didn't think much of it until I pulled into the lot. Saw a familiar gray duffel bag outside room 107. And Denise sitting on the curb, holding her phone, crying. I stayed in the car. Watched her through the windshield. She was broke. Alone. Troy hadn't taken her in. Amanda changed the locks. The salon hours got cut. She had no car. Troy let her borrow his before, but now she was back to buses. She looked up and saw me. Eyes met. She didn't wave. Just looked down again. I delivered the food to room 112. On the way back to the car, she didn't say a word. But I did. I leaned down, looked her dead in the eye, and said, You wanted to feel wanted. You wanted something more. You got it. Then I got in my car and drove off. I thought that'd be the final page in the story. But she wasn't done yet. 2 days later, I got a letter in the mail. Certified. From a law office. She was filing for divorce. And trying to go after spousal support. I stared at the letter for a full 5 minutes. It was thick. Too thick. Pages stapled together, words I didn't fully understand, all wrapped in a tone that made it sound like I owed her something. The letter said Denise was seeking spousal support. Due to a significant change in her quality of life and financial position. It talked about maintaining lifestyle and historical dependency. I read one line twice. Denise Mulligan has been forced to seek temporary housing due to the petitioner's, me, emotional abandonment and financial instability. I almost laughed. She cheated. She humiliated me. She left. And now she wanted me to pay her to keep living? No. Absolutely not. I called the number on the letter. Spoke to the lawyer. Told him I wasn't agreeing to anything and I'd see them in court. He paused. Then said, My client has evidence of a hostile environment. She's prepared to testify that she was emotionally mistreated during the marriage. I said, I've got video of her feeding another man fries while laughing at me in public. I've got timestamps. Messages. Witnesses at the gym. And I never cheated. He went quiet. Then, we'll be in touch. I hung up. Next day, I walked into a small law office a few blocks from my apartment. Found a guy named Mark that came highly recommended from a coworker. Real bulldog type. I gave him everything. Texts, the gym footage, even the group chat screenshots I pulled from her tablet. He sat back, read through it all, then said, She's gonna regret trying to get cute with this. We filed a response. We filed a counter. I wasn't just fighting her spousal support. I was going after everything she left behind, including the half of the deposit she thought she'd walk away with. And her name on the car we both drove, which I was still paying insurance on. I also asked for her share of unpaid rent for the last month she'd been gone. Mark filed it all. 2 weeks later, Denise called me. Not texted. Called. Her voice was shaky. Why are you doing this? You started it. I said. I have nothing, okay? I'm sleeping in my friend Kayla's basement. I can't even pay her for food. I've had to skip work shifts because the buses don't run that early. I made a mistake. No. You made a choice. She was quiet. Then, you're really going to take me to court? You were ready to take my money, I said. So yeah? See you there. We didn't speak again until the hearing. She showed up in the same hoodie I saw her in at the diner. Hair tied back, no makeup. She looked like a ghost of who she used to be. Her lawyer tried to push the sympathy card. Said I was financially sabotaging her. Mark stood up and pulled out the screenshots, the video, the food delivery records, the gym app receipts, all of it. Her lawyer went pale. The judge looked disgusted. He said, Mrs. Mulligan, you claimed abandonment. But it appears you were actively engaged in an extramarital relationship before the separation. She didn't answer. He continued, I see no legal grounds for support. And based on the counterclaim, I'm siding with the respondent. We walked out. Mark clapped me on the back. Outside the courthouse, I saw her sitting on a bench, shaking. I didn't go over. I just walked past. She whispered, You got what you wanted. I stopped. Looked down at her. No, I said. You got what you earned. After court, I thought I'd feel better. I didn't. Not right away. Yeah, I'd won. No spousal support. I kept the apartment. I kept the car. I even got back the money she tried to grab from the deposit. But deep down, something still felt raw. Like part of me had rotted during the whole thing. I didn't date. Didn't go out. I kept my head down, kept delivering food, and tried to build back slowly. Quiet nights. Podcasts in the car. Bad diner coffee and fast food dinners. Just trying to stay steady. Then one night, about a month after court, I pulled into the parking lot of a small grocery store around midnight. It was my last delivery of the day. A big order, late-night snacks, drinks, frozen pizza. I walked up to the address, a second-floor apartment above a rundown laundromat. I knocked. The door creaked open. And there she was. Denise. Hair greasy. Skin pale. Wearing an oversized hoodie that definitely wasn't hers. Her eyes were hollow. She blinked. You're still delivering? I didn't answer right away. She took the bag from my hand. Then, without even looking at me, she said, I never thought this would be my life. I looked past her shoulder. The apartment was dark, with stained carpet and a single folding chair by the window. No TV. No bed I could see. Just a bunch of takeout containers and a small lamp on the floor. I said, Neither did I. She looked down. I lost everything. No, I said. You threw it away. I turned to leave. But she called out, voice cracking. Did you ever really love me? That one hit me. Harder than I expected. I turned around. I did, I said. More than I should have. She stared at the floor. Then she said soft, I wish I could undo it. You can't, I said. But you can sit with it. Just like I had to. She didn't say anything else. I walked down the stairs. Outside, I stood by my car and looked up at that small apartment window. No light came on. I drove off. It's been 6 months since that night. I've got a new job now. Not amazing, but better than delivering. Warehouse supervisor at a smaller place. Decent hours. Steady check. I still live alone. I don't mind it. I deleted her number. Blocked her on every app. I don't check on her, and I don't ask mutual friends. She's just a closed chapter. But some nights, when the city's quiet and the streets are empty, I think about that moment in the gym. How she looked at me like I was nothing. How he laughed like I didn't matter. And how it all turned on them like a wheel coming full circle. They humiliated me. Treated me like trash. Thought I was disposable. But I stood up. And now? They're the ones left behind. I didn't destroy them. They did that to themselves. All I did was hold up the mirror and walk away.